Hey guys, welcome back to the Homestead Adventure. Today I'm going to show you how to make mushroom jerky. This is one of my favorite snack recipes and I'm really excited to get to share it with you guys today. So let's get started. For this recipe, we are using portobello mushrooms and I am using baby bellas. So anything about this size, I like that they're just, they'll be a nice bite-sized piece, and try to get ones that are a little puffy and not too flat. You can use large portobello mushrooms too, it doesn't really matter. I just prefer the baby bellas. And I want to mention that I've tried this with button mushrooms and it just doesn't taste very good. So I definitely recommend portobello mushrooms when you're making mushroom jerky. So the first thing we're going to do is wash our mushrooms. I didn't measure how many mushrooms I got. I just got 5 of these 6-ounce packages. At some point, I would love to grow my own mushrooms, but that did not happen this year. So the first thing is we're just gonna wash these under some cold water, just rinse off all that dirt. And when I slice them, I will let you know how many cups of sliced mushrooms I got. So this is how many mushrooms I got out of the 5 6-ounce packages. And the next thing we are going to do is slice these mushrooms. So our next step is slicing these mushrooms. So we're gonna cut off the bottom part because that just gets a little hard. And then we're gonna slice it into about 1/8 inch. You don't want them too thin to be all crunchy, and you don't want them too thick to be a little too rubbery. You want them to be just about 1/8 inch. So I ended up with about 16 cups of sliced mushrooms, which was a lot more than I thought. This is only half of them. So now we are going to make the marinade. So it's going to be 3/4 cup apple cider vinegar, 3/4 cup of reduced sodium soy sauce, 1/4 cup of olive oil, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 4 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 4 teaspoons of dry mustard, 4 teaspoons of garlic powder, and 4 teaspoons of sesame seeds. So I'm just going to take a measuring cup and pour all that in. All right, so now we're gonna pour it in. So this is, like I said, 8 cups. I'm gonna pour half of this in here and hope that'll be enough. Shake it up. Make sure all the mushrooms get it. And I ran out of these bags, so now I have all these little bags, and hopefully there'll be enough marinade to go around. So we're just gonna shake the marinade around in here. And as you can see, I did get enough. So like I said, I had 16 cups of sliced mushroom. This is half of them. This is 8 cups here. And for the amount of marinade I did, I would say that would definitely cover 12 cups easily. So if you want to go by that, 12 cups for this marinade recipe that I gave you. So go ahead and double or half the recipe depending on how many mushrooms you're using. So the next thing we're going to do is we're just gonna put the mushrooms in the marinade in the fridge overnight, and then we will put them in the dehydrator in the morning. So the mushrooms have been marinating overnight in the fridge, and as you can see, the mushrooms did start making their own juices as well. So the amount of marinade that I used for the 16 cups of mushrooms that we did was definitely enough. All of the mushrooms are covered in all of the bags. So next thing, we are going to put the mushrooms in the dehydrator. I definitely recommend a dehydrator for this recipe, but you can use your oven. Just put it on the lowest setting and dehydrate it for a few hours. It's going to take a little less time in the oven than it would in the dehydrator. I found that my oven temperature just doesn't get low enough, and I end up burning things in there when I try to dehydrate things in my oven. But some ovens may be just perfect for this, so just be aware of that. So all we're doing here is just taking our mushrooms out of the bag and putting them on the trays. Make sure they're not touching so that they all get room to dehydrate. So now I've filled all the trays, and the next step is to simply put the top on and plug in the dehydrator. Now I'm going to leave these in here for about 3 to 6 hours, and I'm just going to start checking after 3 hours and every hour after that. And that's pretty much it, and I will show you what they look like when they're done. So the mushrooms were in the dehydrator for about 4 hours, and I started taking them out. As you can see here, it is not squishy anymore. It's all rubbery, but it doesn't break when you bend it. It's like jerky. It's very good. So only some of them were ready after 4 hours. I still have some going in the dehydrator. I'll probably leave those for another hour before I check again. I do have some extra ones that are still in the fridge that I will put on the bottom rack. So that way the liquid doesn't drip onto the ones that are already drying, and it'll just be kind of like a second batch. This is probably only about a quarter of them, and I still have plenty in the dehydrator. So I would say about 4 to 6 hours was what mine took to dehydrate. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on the next adventure. Bye guys.